everybody. Certainly glad to have another announcement and a very closely kept secret on what today's announcement is. So probably none of you know what's happening today. You can giggle if you want, but anyway, 79 days remaining till the opening day, October 3rd here at the Blue Cross Arena. So what were we last time we met? 90 some days, so 79 all of a sudden we're down another 20 some days. So it is going fast, and of course a lot sooner than 79 days will be the start of training camp and getting everything put together. So it's not very long before we will be getting underway here with a new season. So really no announcements other than the main announcement of the day. Of course, the President, Louis Stotts and Chris Taylor, Chris's family, we welcome you back to your home here in Rochester. We're certainly pleased to have you here. Now let's bring up Louis for the presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. As Don said, it's been an interesting. How many days for the last time? 20 some odd days since we had our last press conference. We called together and we announced that we're bringing in Ted Nolan to join our hockey operations department. And at that point in time, although there was a lot of behind-the-scenes activity going on, as you might expect, leading up to free agency in the NHL at that point in time, and I can say that when we were making our discussions and having our talks with Florida and talking about veteran players that we'd like to bring back and help us in terms of remolding the Amerks for the upcoming season and the years beyond, I can say that Chris Taylor's name was one that was mentioned as one of the very early ones that we were looking at, and we had those discussions, and we had with Jody, obviously knowing Chris and being around here a long time, we talked about that, and we're really excited that Chris has made the decision that he's going to join the Americans and help us, as I said, help us to retool and remodel and remold the team for what will hopefully be a much better season than last year. We've made a lot of moves. I won't bore you with all the details. I'm sure that there's been enough written and enough seen around Rochester here in terms of what the signings that we've made to date, and I think it's all building quite nicely in terms of setting us up to have a really good run for the 2009-2010 season. Just to I make one kind of comment. I talk a lot when we're talking in our management meetings and on the business side of our organization here that for me personally, I'm always looking at the future. I don't necessarily look at the past a lot in terms of from a management perspective, because I think that we got to keep our eye focused on the future and make our decisions today that are the best decision we can make today that will mold us for the future. But the one thing that I will say, having that philosophy, is that what you can do is you can learn from the past. You can look back at the past and you can see at the things that worked and the things that helped you as an organization in the past. And I think if I sort of segue into what we're doing here, I think that that obviously Chris Taylor's been a part of the team before. As you can see, we got we already had him on display throughout the arena. But last year when we were looking at doing some of this stuff, so I think it is one of those things when we look back and realize that Chris was a big part of the Americans. Not in the very recent past. He was a captain of our team in the very recent past, and I think this is definitely one of those times when we can take some of the good that was there in the past and bring it into the day and help him and help us as an organization achieve what we want to do. So again, I'd like to say that we're very happy to have Chris back, and I'll turn it over to him.
Oh, you are right.
Right.
Photo op.
Which side you want to go on? Okay, you can hold on.
Well, first of all, thank you, Louis and Jody, and everybody that came actually today. And I know I'm very excited. I know my family's very excited to be back here and living here full-time in Rochester. We come back after every year anyways and live here. And it's exciting for me personally to come back and play for a team that I loved. And it's great tradition. A lot of great players have played here. And and if there's, like I said to Kevin in the paper, is that if there's only one place I want to come back and play, and that was here in Rochester, and I can't be more happy. I know the team has signed a lot of good players. Florida's signed a lot of good players coming into this season, and I'm very excited about it. Obviously, you know, as Lewis said, you can't look into the past here, you got to look into the future, and I know Florida's got some good young players, and you know, I think the most important thing is start off, have a good season, and just try and make the playoffs. When you make the playoffs, anything can happen. And if you keep those expectations at that level at the start of the season, then good things will happen. And you know, you can't look too far beyond that. You just got to try and have the best season you can to make the playoffs, and then that's a new season beyond that. So you know, obviously that's the main goal, and that's you know, I'm excited to be part of that, and to go in this year and to make the playoffs.
All right. Thanks very much, Chris. I'll tell you what, last few years it just didn't feel right not having Tails in the line. It just didn't feel right. I mean, we had your picture here, but it doesn't quite play hockey as well as you did. So, and we're certainly very happy to have you back. I'm very pleased that this is another huge day in the forward progress, I think, of the franchise. So, congratulations to Lewis and Jody and Ted and everybody else, and for getting this all put together. And again, to you and your family, we're certainly pleased to have you back. Chris will be available for personal interviews along with Lewis. Jody's in the back of the room also. So again, that's our announcement. Thank you so much. And the time running fast, so I'm not sure what we'll have for further announcements. Maybe we'll have one or two. I don't know as far as press conferences are concerned, but anyway, Craig and keeping you up to date as time goes on. Don't be afraid to call if you have any questions.